It's a bitter pill to swallow. It's a bitter pill to swallow.
Hey everybody, welcome to The Bitter Pill. My name is Kirk Shepard. I'm your host here for this Patreon Falcon's Nest Sauna exclusive podcast where we bring to you all things related to wrestling and mental health and more. I hope that you're having a good time with this content. I am having a blast. I'm having such a good time, and I really appreciate you tuning in every Wednesday to check it out. Machine Gun has been very kind to post this for us on Wednesdays, and I hope he continues to do so that I can keep a schedule going. Now, in all fairness, I'm recording this on Saturday night, and so if I reference time, I don't want you to be confused because I can't keep track of the timeline, but I also don't want to wait until the last minute to get this to you. So I'm recording it early just so it's in the can and available and ready to go. Now we're going to start the show a little out of order this week, and so I hope you enjoy our main event first.
It's the mail event, hot takes and fan thoughts from the Falcon's Nest or your grandma's basement. We'll ring your mail. This is the main event. The main event is the mail event. Oh, yeah.
It's the mail event, everybody. And today we got a comment underneath the post of last week's Bitter Pill from a very special Falcon's Nester, Tony the Fall Down Man. He says, "Hey, Kirk, I have kept this to myself, but I feel like this is a safe place." Absolutely a safe place. "I loved Doink. There, I said it. I thought he was a great heel. His match against Bret Hart at SummerSlam 93 was awesome, and I thought he should have had an IC title run. Please tell me why I am wrong." Well, Tony, I hate to tell you, you're going to not find a contrary opinion here, at least about the heel version, the Matt Bourne version of Doink, because I also thought he was very excellent, and excellent enough that he should be our Wrestler of the Day.
Wrestler of the Day. Wrestler of the Day.
Let's talk about Doink. One of the most misunderstood gimmicks in WWE history. Now, I'm not talking about the water-squirting, pie-throwing babyface version. I'm talking about the original sinister version played by Matt Bourne. That Doink was a masterclass in psychological heel work, hiding behind grease paint. Bourne debuted with Doink in 1992, creeping around ringside, pulling pranks that hurt. He would trip babyfaces, he would pop balloons in kids' faces, and he delivered one of the most vicious heel attacks with that prosthetic arm on Crush. He wasn't a comedy act, he was unsettling. A twisted circus nightmare come to life, and you know how much I love a scary heel. Now, Matt Bourne wasn't just playing a character, he was channeling his own inner chaos into the character. There was an intensity and an unpredictability in the promos, that deranged laughter, that cold-blooded menace that made us feel something different, something off. Matt Bourne weaponized absurdity. He used the clown gimmick to disarm the audience and then turn their expectations against them. That is good heat. But as so often happens in this business, of course, the gimmick got diluted. Once Bourne left the company and they put others underneath the wig and the makeup, the menace was gone. The genius disappeared. Doink became a joke as a babyface and was just at that point a merchandise pusher where he jumped the shark harder than Fonzie in a leather jacket. All that nuance got replaced with slapstick, and it's unfortunate because Matt Bourne's Doink was a rare creature, both character and commentary. He was mocking the cartoony direction of the WWE while playing right into it. He made you laugh, and then he made you regret it. And then they turned him into a joke. But today, let's remember the original Doink for what he truly was. One of the most psychologically complex villains of the new generation era. A clown that wasn't funny, a heel that made you uneasy, and a performer that proved sometimes the scariest thing in wrestling is a smile.
Wrestler of the Day. Wrestler of the Day.
Matt Bourne, Doink the Clown. Very, very happy to talk about him. I want to talk about whatever wrestler you want me to. I'd love to hear your ideas. Now, next week, I have a very special idea. So that's already taken care of. But we got future episodes. We got this coming up every week. We got to find things to talk about. So comment, email me, tell me what you think we should do for Wrestlers of the Day. But for right now, what are you looking forward to?
What are you looking forward to?
I'm always thinking about the next thing that's coming up because it keeps me moving forward. I don't get stagnant that way. I keep my eye on the prize, so to speak. And right now, the biggest prize I've got coming up is this Disney World trip in 177 days today. By the time you're watching this, it'll be more like 174. But I'm saving money every day, and this stuff's expensive, especially given that I pay for this Patreon still. Maybe that'll stop when the boys can talk to Rocky this weekend, tomorrow, last Sunday, depending on when you're hearing this. Maybe that'll change. But I forgot to discontinue the premium Zoom account that I paid for the Boozing with the Boys, which I got reimbursed for. But I forgot to cancel the renewal, so I just paid another $23-something. And apparently I've been fired from that job because I suck at it, I've been told. I would guarantee nobody else could do it any better. But maybe a little less bitterly. I will give you that. That is probably true.
Protect the gimmick. Take a break, don't be a cynic. Your body's the brand, your mind's the show. You can't make even if you're running on low. Protect the gimmick.
Gotta protect the gimmick. It's the most important thing. Self-care. This is my favorite segment because this is where I shine. This is what I know about. I know about wrestling, but I know about mental health and self-care and taking care of the self. And I got this little book called A Year of Self-Care by Dr. Zoe Shaw. And today, June 11th, today this drops, the title is Find Your Color. I like it. The impact of beauty on your psyche is enormous. So as you look into this camera and this screen and see the beauty of me, I'm just kidding. Okay. The impact of beauty on your psyche is enormous. Some may view beauty as a frivolous or peripheral part of the world, but it most certainly is not. Beauty is a human necessity, and natural beauty is epitomized. Beauty exists in the vast array of colors that you encounter every day. Certain colors resonate deeply with different people. The right color seems to perfectly match the song in your soul. So today, identify your color. Is it deep blue, vibrant yellow, dusky red? Commit to surround yourself with more of your favorite colors. I one time stayed at a hotel in St. Louis that was color themed. So every room had a theme. It was either blue, yellow, green, or red. I ended up in a red room. It was gorgeous. It was red. Everything was red, including the rubber duck that went with the bathtub. But the sheets were red, the curtains were red, the paint walls were red. Everything in the room that could be colored was red. And I love that because I think color is really important. I've got a color wheel here, a color wheel. And I wanted to point something out to you about color, right? You see how there's no lines? You see how you might have an opinion about where red ends and orange begins, or where purple and blue match up, or what I think is purple, you might say is blue. Same with green and yellow. Like there's no clear-cut certainty about where the color starts, where the color stops. It's a spectrum. I can't think of a better topic for self-care on a week where we talk about doink than color. And I can't think of a better time of year to talk about color than Pride Month. We talk about spectrum, we talk about color, we talk about sexuality, we talk about spectrums. We talk about autism, we talk about spectrums. Spectrums are big things these days. And I think that what I learned about spectrums and about the idea of not having clearly defined, rigid expectations of things is that the world is a lot more fun. So I wrote a book called Jesus and Me. It's the story of my faith deconstruction. So I grew up very religious. I'm going to talk with Machine Gun about this, hopefully on one of the Machine Gun radios if he could ever work me into his schedule instead of talking about chronic masturbation and getting all the other fans on there. I mean, I'm an actual, insider. I'm just kidding. You're all welcome to be on there. I'm enjoying very much watching Emerson and Grayson and all the folks get their airtime. But I do want to go on there and promote my book, so you'll buy some. Anyway, Jesus in Me is about faith deconstruction. And what I learned in writing that book was that certainty is comforting for some people, and being arrogant and being confident about what you believe to a fault is problematic. When you eliminate the ability to see the mysticism in things like faith or color, you are losing out on the rainbow of joy in life. So as we think about protecting the gimmick today, my self-care challenge to you is to evaluate areas of your life where maybe you've been a little too certain. Maybe it's politics. We don't talk about that here because it's too divisive, because everyone is so certain that they're right and everyone else is wrong. But maybe you could evaluate your own stance there. Or maybe you can evaluate your thoughts about somebody you don't understand, somebody that you don't know very well, and maybe allow some uncertainty to creep into your life. You might find that it's a very rewarding experience to just let yourself be humble.
Protect the gimmick. Take a break, don't be a cynic. Your body's the brand, your mind's the show. You can't make.
Okay, we got a brand new segment. We're getting near the end of the show, but we're got a brand new segment, and I'm excited to beyond belief about this one.
It's the Bitter Book Club. It's the Bitter Book Club. Book Club.
You know, there's a whole thread on the chat for books, and I'm so excited about that. And we had a little conversation this week, for those of you that missed it, where we talked about maybe starting a book club. And guess what? We started it. It's called the Bitter Book Club, and I put a poll up. Not really a poll, just a post and ask for your votes. And we had one vote, so we're going with it. Tony the Fall Down Man said we should read Mel Robbins' The Let Them Theory. And since I already own a copy of that and think it's a pretty good book, I think that's a great choice. So if you already have it, awesome. If you don't have it, you can get it on Amazon, but you can also go to your library. They probably have a copy of it. And what we're going to do is this first week, we'll read chapter 1, the introduction in chapter 1, and we'll discuss it next week. Now, we're going to stretch it out for about 8 weeks. So you'll have time to get caught up if you're interested in reading it. But I promise you this, even if you don't take the time to read it or you don't really want to read it, these segments on the show will be short and interesting enough that you can feel like you read it without having to actually do the work. Okay? So we'll give you a brief summary and maybe a discussion question where I'll give you some thoughts about what I think, how it can apply to your life or how it applies to my life. And as always, we'll make it interesting and hopefully a little funny. And you'll get something out of that, right? Now, I'm a little bit disappointed in myself as the self-promoter that I am, that I didn't pick one of my own books for the book club, but maybe down the road we can do that. So it's The Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins. It's available on Amazon, Kindle, hardcover. I don't think the paperback is out yet, but you can get an audiobook as well. And Mel Robbins has a podcast if you're interested in more. But it's a good book, all about letting go. So I'm excited, and I hope you are too.
It's the Bitter Book Club. It's the Bitter Book Club. Book Club.
So that's next week. We'll review that. We'll catch up on all the things that have happened, at least until the next time I record in the chat. If it's anything relevant that I can address, I'm not going to diagnose any of you, although some of you could sure use it. But I am going to have a very special guest next week, I think. That is the plan. I'm not going to promise. I'm not going to tell you who it is because I'm not sure it's happening yet. But I've got plans, and we've talked, and we're in negotiations and scheduling. And I think that you will enjoy this person. I'm going to enjoy this person talking about wrestling. And also, you know how on the pilot episode we talked about the Am I an Asshole segment? This person's a great, great person to talk about. Am I an asshole? So that's coming up next week, I hope. If not, I'll be back with more content, and we'll try to keep it to about 15 minutes like we did today. With that said, we've hit that mark. it's time to go. I hope you've had a great week. I hope you all are hanging out in the Falcon's Nest. Please let me know what you're looking forward to. Please shoot me a message and tell me all the things you got coming up this summer, and tell me more about you, and ask your questions. I want to talk to you. I want to answer your mail, and I want to have content that you enjoy. So stay engaged, and we'll see you next week right here. That is A Bitter Pill to Swallow.
The Bitter Pill, hosted by Kirk Shepard, is for entertainment purposes only. While Kirk Shepard is a licensed therapist, none of the information presented on this podcast should be interpreted or thought of as clinical advice. Kirk's wrestling persona, Professor Bitterman, is a fictionalized character and may not be representative of the actual views of Kirk Shepard.
It's a bitter pill to swallow.
If you're in need of mental health treatment, go to psychologytoday.com to find a therapist in your area. For more information on Kirk Shepard, his books, and more, go to kirkshepard.com.